There's something about gliding through this world that never gets old, the wind rushing past, the endless stretch of trees below. It's almost peaceful. Almost, that is, until I dive a little too deep and suddenly remember, yeah, I'm not exactly a pro at this. Every now and then, I misjudge the angle, and before I know it, I'm plummeting toward the ground like a human meteor. It's a small price to pay though, because honestly, this is one of my favorite ways to travel in Sons of the Forest. Now, for those who don't know, Sons of the Forest is the sequel to The Forest, and it takes everything that made the original game great and cranks it up to another level. You start off as part of an elite team sent to find a missing billionaire and his family. Sounds like a straightforward rescue mission, right? Yeah, not quite. The moment you crash land on this island, you realize things are seriously messed up. The world is massive, the survival mechanics are deeper, and the AI smarter. This time around, the island feels more alive. The seasons change, affecting how you gather food and survive. Cannibals, they don't just charge at you, they observe, they react, and sometimes they'll even hesitate, as if they're studying you. It's not just about building and surviving, it's about outthinking whatever's out there watching you. But before this, there was The Forest. On my first time playing it, I thought I was just in for a regular survival game. Craft, eat, build, repeat. I had no idea what I was in for. You start off surviving a plane crash, only to realize your son, Timmy, has been taken. That alone sets a different tone from most survival games. The more you explore, the more you realize that this island isn't just home to a few weirdos, it's a full-blown nightmare. Dark caves filled with grotesque mutants, eerie sounds at night that make you question every shadow, and a story that slowly unravels into something way more disturbing than just survival. The Forest wasn't just about crafting and building, it was about unraveling a mystery, one that made me rethink everything I thought I knew about the game. After playing Sons of the Forest, it's hard not to think back to my time in the forest, especially when I played with a friend. We took on countless enemies together, battling our way through the island, trying to survive. But there was one thing he always wanted, to open up the massive gates I'd blocked off. I had it shut tight because I didn't want the AI to path into our base. That IT was safer that way, but when we finally wanted some action or armor, we'd open the gates and let the chaos pour in. It wasn't always pretty, but it made for some crazy moments. Gliding in the forest was a different experience, nothing like the freedom in Sons of the Forest. It didn't have that same open world feel, and it felt a bit more like I was crawling on the ground compared to soaring above the treetops. If I wanted to get around, I had to build towers, towers to climb and travel. It was a tiny world in comparison to the scale of Sons of the Forest, almost like being an ant looking up at a giant. But still, even with all the limitations, it was amazing, the thrill of surviving with a friend and overcoming the odds. That was something special. One of the things I love about Sons of the Forest is how easy it is to get airborne. Unlike the forest, where I had to build full towers just to get some height, here I can just chop down a tree or two, set up a simple ramp, and take off. It's such a small thing, but it makes traveling feel so much smoother. I've also heard there's a trap that can launch you into the air, definitely something I need to test out. Imagine setting up a whole network of launch points across the island. That could be insane. Then there's the building system itself, completely different from the first game. The way you place logs, snap pieces together, and create structures feels so much more natural. Seeing some of the insane bases people make though, yeah, it makes me want to give up on building entirely. But at the same time, I enjoy the simple way I live in the game. A basic shelter, some essentials, and just surviving. That's enough for me. Even if my base looks like a glorified campfire compared to some of the fortresses out there,